Hello, comic lovers! Welcome to the 11th episode of the Boys comic series. This issue is the first part of the 4th volume, Glorious 5-Year Plan, of the Boys comic. In the previous volume, you saw us introduced to Legend for the first time, as he writes superhero comics for Vought. Legend gives Butcher and Campbell a case about a boy named Steven Rubenstein. While solving this case, the boys uncover many secrets about superheroes like Tech Knight and Swingwing. Finally, the boys discover that Steven's death was caused by an accident between him and Swingwing. After that, Swingwing dies in an accident, and Tech Knight is killed due to a brain tumor, bringing our 3rd volume to an end. Now, let's move on to the 4th volume. The issue starts with the boys sitting on a government plane, heading somewhere. One of the pilots signals Butcher, who then tells Campbell, "We're about to arrive." Campbell, yawning, says, "That's good because this flight wasn't great." Butcher replies, "Yeah, it wasn't, but it's free, and no one knows we're coming." Then Butcher tells "Wake up Frenchie and tell him to wake up the female." Campbell tells Butcher, "I didn't like the food on this flight," to which Butcher responds, "And I didn't like the entertainment because all I heard was you snoring. Do you know how loud you snore? Has anyone ever told you that?" Campbell, a bit embarrassed, says, "Shit, really?" Says, "He's just messing with you, Huey." But then himself teases Campbell, saying, "But yeah, you do fart pretty dangerously." Butcher explains, "We work for the government, so we get flights from the Air Force. But you'd only want to take these flights if you really have important business. We see that besides the boys and Air Force members, there are many prisoners on the flight too." Campbell asks, "So what's going to happen to them now?" Butcher replies, "Well, they came aboard at Ankara, so my guess is Anchorage, via a couple more pickups in Islamabad and Seoul." Campbell asks, "Anchorage?" Butcher responds, "Don't talk so loud, Huey, or these prisoners will wet their pants and the crew chief's work will increase." Then Butcher says, "Anyway, welcome to Moscow, comrade." And we realize that the boys team has come to Moscow, Russia, for their mission this time. In the next scene, we see a character named Little Nina arriving in Moscow on her plane. She's using an electronic device for her pleasure. You know what I mean. From the conversation between the two pilots flying the plane, we learn that Little Nina is quite dangerous and selfish. The scene then changes back to the boys, who are waiting for someone at the airport. While waiting, we see Frenchie and Female playing with each other, making snowballs. Suddenly, a car arrives, and Butcher says, "Where have you been, monkey?" The person driving the car replies, "Sorry, But Butcher cuts him off, saying, Yeah, but if you ever leave us stranded and show up late again, I'll make your life miserable." Then we see that this monkey is none other than Mr. Kessler. If you don't remember who Mr. Kessler is, let me remind you that we saw him earlier in the 1st season, where Butcher used this same Kessler, or monkey as you can call him, to find out about Campbell. From here on, I'll refer to Kessler as Monkey, so you'll understand that when I talk about Monkey, I'm talking about Mr. Kessler. After that, everyone gets into the car, and Monkey starts driving. Butcher says to Monkey, "I gotta say, I'm surprised to see you here. Monkey, I thought you were happy with your desk job in Langley." Monkey replies, "I'm just here to help you out. I worked at the embassy here for 2 years, so I've got local experience." Butcher smiles and says, "For real? So this has nothing to do with the women's Paralympic tournament happening here? Just a coincidence, right?" Monkey, a bit embarrassed, says, "No, it's not like that," to which Butcher laughs. Monkey continues, "So, Director Rayner read your report on the incident with Teenage Kicks." Butcher asks, "So she finally read it, huh?" Monkey says, "Actually, I read it too, and the director wants me to pass along a message. She thinks from your report that you believe Teenage Kicks found out about your location from their office, but the director wants to make it clear that it's totally impossible." Butcher responds, "Well, you tell her the message has been received and understood." Monkey hesitantly asks, "So, everything's cool between us, right?" Butcher repeats, "The message has been received and understood." But before Monkey can say anything else, Butcher says, "We'll get out here." Monkey asks, "Here?" Butcher explains, "Take our stuff to the hotel. If I need you, I'll call you. Though I don't think I will, so take the day off and check out Spackathon. And hey, enjoy yourself there." After that, the boys enter the bar where they had stopped the car. As they enter, we see that the bar is run by none other than Vasily Vas Voroshikin, aka Love Sausage. Vas, seeing Butcher, runs up happily and says, "Billy, my friend, it's been years." Butcher replies, "Vas, you're squeezing me so hard I might get a fracture." Then Vas greets Frenchie, MM, and the female one by one. Butcher introduces Campbell to Vas, who says, "Little Huey, it's nice to meet you. Butcher has told me a lot about you." Campbell replies, "Oh, that's great, but he hasn't told me anything about you." Vas says, "Yeah, I know. He probably hasn't even told you why you're here. Same old Billy, keeping everyone in the dark until he needs them." Vas continues, saying, sit down. We'll reveal all the secrets one by one." Then Vas asks everyone in the bar to leave, except for Flunky. Afterward, he goes inside to get vodka for everyone. Campbell asks Butcher, "So, what are we doing in Moscow, and who is this guy?" Butcher explains, 2 weeks ago, a soup came to this city who was actually a villain, not a hero. He came to a market and started explaining his evil plan to people. I don't remember exactly what the plan was, and it doesn't matter because right after that, his head suddenly exploded right there. Just like that, his entire skull blew up. Then 2 days later, the same thing happened to another soup. Campbell asks, "Was someone shooting them?" Butcher replies, "No one heard any noise, and no ballistic material or other weapons were found." MM adds, "Blowing up someone's entire head isn't an easy thing to do. You can take out a person's brain, but blowing up the whole head sounds like something from a Hollywood movie." Frenchie lists some gun names and asks if maybe they were used to blow up the heads. Butcher says, "Voss is taking us to the morgue this afternoon." Frenchie responds, "Then you'll have a chance to analyze it thoroughly." Butcher shares an important detail. In the early 90s, I read that some idiots used a boosted version of Compound V. It was so boosted that it wasn't stable. The idea was to inject this boosted version into soups, and it would act like a time bomb. Their body would start tearing itself apart, and it would be untraceable. Campbell, confused, asks, "But why would anyone want to kill soups?" Butcher finishes his thought, saying, "I have no idea, friend." MM asks if it worked on those who took it back then. Butcher replies, "Because it was so unstable, nothing happened to half of them, and for the other half, there was no way to know the timing. One person exploded 2 years after the injection." Voss returns with vodka and says, "We drink, boys." Campbell asks Voss if he's going to take them to the morgue. Butcher tells about the Voss that he used to be a cop, Huey. Voss, while bringing a photo frame, explains, "By day, a police officer, and by night, a mighty superhero and the leader of the glorious 5-year plan team." Then, showing the photo, he adds, "We fought for the workers and our friends. This is Tractor. This is Purge. This is Red Banner Collectivo. And in the back, that's Love Sausage. What a day it was, huh, Huey?" Campbell doesn't understand his name and his powers, and asks, "Love Sausage?" Butcher laughs and says, "I'll explain it to you later, Huey." After that, Voss sets out a glass of vodka for everyone and greets them, asking them to drink. We see that everyone except Campbell and Voss throws away the vodka. Campbell and Voss drink it, after which Campbell yells loudly. Butcher says to Campbell in a low voice, "Oh, sorry, Huey. I thought you saw us throwing it away." Just then Voss says, "It gives a bit of a kick at first, but you'll be fine." The scene changes, and we hear a man's voice from a building saying, "There's been a complication, and you'll have to deal with it yourself." The man continues, "To be exact, 5 complications and a dog. I don't want to be involved in this at all. I don't even want to know how you're going to handle it." We see this conversation is happening between Little Nina and a Vought man. Little Nina responds, "This job must be important because I came all the way here from Grozny for it." The man replies, "Well, I had to come here from Washington, so don't expect any sympathy from me." The scene changes again, and we see the boys and Love Sausage in the same morgue where the soup whose head exploded was kept. Butcher asks Frenchie if he understands anything. Frenchie tries to understand the blast using some technical terms. While identifying the dead body, Frenchie says that judging by the tattoos on the body, it seems to be a member of the ROC. Campbell asks, "ROC?" Butcher explains, "Russian organized crime. Very bad people. Then Butcher asks Voss if he knows who this is. Voss, looking a bit sad, says, I don't know. These worms have spread everywhere these days. Seeing Voss upset, Campbell goes to him and asks if everything is okay. Voss replies, yeah, I'm just a little sad for the Rodney. Campbell doesn't understand the meaning of Rodney and asks what it is. Voss explains, my motherland, Huey. Basically, Rodney means Russia here. Voss continues, these worms have spread everywhere now, Huey. These criminals, even the morgue attendant who took a bribe to let us into a government facility so easily. It's all very shameful. Yes, I had to help you guys somehow, but I'm still sad about it. By making love sausage, I could have done so much with the glorious 5-year plan team. The whole team, all the communists together, fighting just for the good of the Rodney, removing corruption, fighting the country's enemies, fighting those who don't give workers their rights. But with the end of communism, all this ended. People became corrupt. Police, politicians, all useless. It feels like my motherland's heart has stopped beating. On the other hand, MM asks Butcher, what do you think? Is this the work of Compound V? Butcher replies, well, they had shut down this project, but yeah, there must be something left over. And if it fell into someone's hands, they would definitely get a chance to bring it to market. Monkey might be able to tell us something about this, or maybe the lab boys working at MBC. Just then, Voss asks Butcher, hey, do you want to try Moscow pizza? It's not like regular pizza, it's actually quite good. Butcher responds, all right, let's just take a look at it a bit more, and then we'll go. Voss tells Campbell, I'll ask Flunky to bring the pizza. He should be sitting at the bar right now. Voss continues, you know, Huey, there's talk of a revival of communism in Russia. People are frustrated with the new government and want to relive the old days. Campbell says, no, I didn't know about that. Voss replies, there's a small political party that's growing. It would be interesting to learn about it. Saying this, he calls Flunky. In the next scene, we see the boys have returned to Voss's bar, and Flunky also arrives near the bar with the pizza. Voss, getting angry, says, where has Flunky been? He should have been here by now. Meanwhile, Campbell asks Butcher, so Voss was also a soup? Butcher says, yeah. Campbell asks, but you don't have any problem taking his help, so is he some kind of exception or what? Butcher replies, well, you used to wet your bed, Huey, and you're still here. No one is perfect, Huey. Campbell says, yeah, that's true. So what's the deal with ROC? Can you tell us? At that moment, we see Frenchie heading towards the gate. While talking about ROC, MM and Butcher explain that they are all quite bad people. Butcher says, they are murderers who work for others. They are the kind of people who keep finding new and terrifying ways to kill and torment people so that everyone stays afraid of them. Meanwhile, Frenchie uses his enhanced smell to sniff out the pizza and brings it from the gate. Seeing this, Voss, surprised, asks Frenchie, doesn't the pizza company deliver? And Flunky didn't come inside? Was Flunky at the gate? Frenchie replies, no, it was just this pizza. And he places the pizza on the table next to Campbell. Campbell, looking at the pizza box, says, how do they torment people? Butcher replies, where should I start, like... Just then, Campbell opens the pizza box and, looking inside, gets quite shocked and scared. Completing Butcher's thought, he asks, like this? And then we see that there's Flunky's severed head in the pizza, to which Butcher says, yeah, just think of it this way, that's their way of saying hello. So that was Volume 4 of the boys' comic, Glorious 5-Year Plan, Part 1. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and share it with friends. You can also follow Comic Groove on social media through the links in the description, and find out the correct reading order for the boys' comic book, so you can enjoy this comic series without any filters. Thank you for watching, comic lovers. See you in the next video.